Hello everyone, this is BraveBots 19141 and this is Introduction to Building the Engineering Portfolio. In this tutorial, I will walk you through two main chapters, the first one being how to structure a good engineering portfolio and why does it matter in the judging part, and the second one being how to use Adobe InDesign in the process of designing. And just before jumping into the tutorial, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. Just as I said, we are BraveBots 19141 and we are one of the first FTC teams of Romania. We founded the team in 2016 in Ploiești and we currently consist of 14 members, 8 volunteers and 6 mentors. Now firstly, we are going to talk about the engineering portfolio structure, just as I said. I'm going to talk to you about how to structure a good portfolio and what should it include, and why does it matter in the judging part. First of all, you should make sure you know all the portfolio requirements. Here I listed the most important ones. You should have 15 pages of content. One page should be a cover, so 16 pages in total. You must use a standard size of 8.511 paper, that is A4 format. Font must be 10 points or bigger, and you must not include links to other documents because judges are not allowed to use them. Moving on, we're going to discuss a bit about the cover page. And even though a cover page isn't required, if you choose to use one, it looks very professional and it is very admired. The cover page should give off the vibe of your team. As you can see in these examples, we used and still use up to this day French keys as the star of our cover pages, but building a cover page, you must not forget to include your team number and your team name. Get creative with this one. Okay, so here are the key contents of an engineering portfolio. And first and foremost, you should list out some team information. You should tell the judges who is your team, what does each member bring to the table, what activities have you organized and took part in, and what is your team's outreach. This really sets the ground onto who the team is and what you are really capable of. What do you contribute with in your community, and how do you implement FTC values in your day-to-day life. Moving on, you should really focus on the team plan. What is your team plan for this season? What are your team's financial stats? Who are your mentors, and if relevant, what are the departments of your team and what does each do? And finally, you should really document the whole engineering design process when it comes to the robot. What are the underlying maths and scientific aspects about it, and what other prototypes led to the final version? How did you program the robot? The judges really look for that. Amazing, so now that we have walked through the structure of the engineering portfolio, let's now get into the part where I show you how to use this software, Adobe InDesign, for designing the engineering portfolio. Okay, so when you open the InDesign app, you want to go and create a new document. Here is what you will be faced with once you press that button. I already named the document. You can name it whatever you want. The unit I use is centimeters most of the times, and the format should be A4, just as I said. So let's get into it. Now you will be faced with a blank sheet of paper and a lot of tools, and at first it may be a little bit overwhelming for you since you don't really know what's going on, but don't worry, once you get the hang of it, it is actually very easy to use, and that's why most teams use it as their software for designing the engineering portfolio. The workspace I'm working in is Essentials. It is the pre-selected one by Adobe, and it is really good for this use. But if you'd like to try something else, you can try these other workspace presets that Adobe has to offer, or even create your own workspace. So now let me walk you through the basic features of this app. On the left side you have the toolbar, where you can see tools such as select tool, type tool, a rectangle frame tool, a rectangle or any other shape in which you can insert images, a rectangle tool, also ellipse tool and polygon tool, a scissor tool, a gradient tool, an eyedropper tool, a hand tool, and a zoom tool. And because there is no better way of learning something new than actually applying it, we are going to build a very simple design together using the most important tools out here. So first of all, I'm going to start with the rectangle frame tool, and I'm going to trace out the whole page. In this tool, in this shape, I'm going to very easily be able to import a file from the properties bar. And as you can see, I've downloaded this Wally image that I'm just gonna import in here. And once you have it imported, it's gonna be very massive. It's gonna be very zoomed in. So I'm gonna click right, fitting, and fit frame proportionally. And as you can see, it's fitted perfectly. So now I was thinking that I want to do a yellow rectangle. So I'm going to trace out the rectangle, and it's going to be blank. But most likely it's going to have a stroke, and I'm going to make it 0 points because it just doesn't look good. Now I'm going to select the eyedropper tool from here and select the yellow that I want to implement. And as you can see, it's already added in here. So now I was thinking that I want to do a nice gradient from this yellow rectangle and the image. I'm going to choose this gradient feather tool, and I'm going to also select the rectangle, and by pressing Ctrl+, you can easily zoom in. And now I'm going to trace a line from where to where I want to make the gradient. So now that I have two simple shapes, one with an image and one with a color, I am actually going to insert some text. So choosing the type tool, I'm going to drag the box of text from where to where I want it. And the default size is 12 points, but I'm going to choose 72, and the default font is Minion Pro, but I'm going to use Futura. It's one of my favorites and it's very classy. So I'm also going to choose white as the color of text. I'm going to write something cute like this is Wally. But I actually wanted the text to be uppercase, so I'm going to select this, all caps in here, and it changed it all. Now I want this text to be centered. If you look closely, you can see that it is not centered on the page. I'm going to scroll down a bit, and I'm going to come here to align. Be sure to select align to page, and I'm going to select align horizontal centers like this. Okay, cool. So since it still looks a little bit empty, I am going to introduce another text box by following the same steps. In this text box, I am going to use the same font, so Futura, and I'm actually gonna use about 16 points like this, and I'm gonna paste a text. I also want to center it, so I will go to the paragraph section here and center it. And by clicking on Shift W, you can see the whole design in full screen. And this is what we've done together. So yeah, it's not very hard to use. It takes time to get used to them, but once you get the hang of it, just as I said, it is one of the best design apps out there. Highly recommend using it because it looks very nice and professional. So yeah, thank you for watching. This was BraveBots 19141, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.